Hello again. So I'm just doing a quick video, or hopefully a rather quick video, because obviously a lot of what I show with the rats is the shorts and the fun we have and the playtime, but unfortunately keeping rats is not completely without its problems. So at the moment, this one here, Sploink, has been aggressive to the other rats, in particular Kraken, who is at the top of the cage. And originally it was sort of like it was just sort of like the alpha dominance behaviour, but it's gone on to the point where it seems to be going into hormonal aggression. I've tried reintroducing them and doing things like that, but every time I do that, it goes well temporarily, but then the aggression flares up again, and I still give them interaction times together during free roaming and stuff like that, and I give Splunk a lot of like one-on-one attention so that he's not left out from affection and care. But yeah, the aggression has become a real issue to the point where I've had to actually separate the cages. So at the moment, they're living like this. So the current living situation is Yoink here, Kraken, and Bailey's over there are living in the top of the cage with a container lid blocking the doorway, and then on the lower level we have the troublemaker Sploink, who unfortunately for the time being can't be trusted around his brothers without hurting them. Now, obviously, that isn't something I necessarily wanted to do. It's something I felt I had to do because the aggression and fighting, which does happen during free roaming times like this, had started to lead to actual injuries. In particular, he's given some rather nasty bites to the other rat's tails, which I can show here. Now, like I said, I didn't want to actually separate them. It did just feel like a last resort to protect them from further injury. You know, I do understand, like, rats do play fight, it's part of their nature. And watching the video I posted of the aggression during the free roaming, people might not think it was that severe, but that's because I don't sort of like, if the aggression does actually kick off, as soon as it goes too far, I'm not recording it. You know, for reference, I put a stop to it and separate them. That's why in the video it might not look like it was that aggressive, but like I say, the bites to the tails is what was concerning me most, because that happens in the cage, and he does try to do it outside of the cage. And like I said, I've tried doing reintroductions. I followed the instructions for original reintroductions, and I did use the carrier method, and then moved them into just the top of the cage with nothing that could be territorial. I took out all of the toys, put bedding down, scatter fed so they couldn't fight over the food bowl and things like that. And then gradually introduced flat hammocks. I didn't put anything that only had one opening, no tunnels and things like that where they can get trapped from fighting. I followed the instructions as best I could, and did reach out to people on forums, on Facebook and places like that to get advice. Now, if people do have advice about this, I would love to hear it. I will take any advice on board because I'm not an expert on these sort of things. So if people do have other, tips to sort of like counter the aggression that's being shown and displayed, I would appreciate that. But yeah, at the moment, it does feel like the only course of action will be going the neutering route, which I was reluctant to look into or to go through with, because it's a small surgery, but they're small animals, and any level of surgery, especially, or not especially, but considering the fact it is a elective surgery, it's not like a life-threatening situation. I don't want to put his life at risk through a surgery, but I've been told by people online, and my wife as well has said, that neutering does carry very, very few risks. She actually kept male and female rats at the same time, so obviously all of her male rats were neutered, and she never had any issues with that. and they can live actually better lives and very healthy lives after being neutered. So that does look like it's going to be the route I take. But unfortunately, until that happens, he will be living separately down here. And it's not a punishment, it's purely to protect his brothers from him, because I don't want any more injuries to their tails, or any, further injuries in future. And so, say it's not punishment. If they get treats, he still gets the same treats, just separately. I take him out and give him lots of one-on-one attention and affection, and I do let him interact with the other ones. And I have tried reintroducing him on doing like a cause and effect sort of basis of reintroduction, where I put him back in with his brothers. And if there's any sign of like proper aggression, not just grooming and, play fighting, if there's any real aggression, I'll take him out and put him back into the bottom level. And sometimes that goes well. I've put him in there and he's been completely fine for hours, even like a whole day. But then if they go to sleep and then wake up, he wakes up and chooses violence, and he's just aggressive first thing in the morning. Other times I'll put him in there and it'll be instantly, he'll just be aggressive as soon as he's put in with his brothers. So it's very hard to know what is going on with him, apart from the fact that, like I say, it does seem to be a hormonal issue. And that's, like I say, I mean, he's like I said, he's not being punished, he's not being separated as a punishment, even though that's not good for him. I know that they are social animals and they need that companionship. It's just purely a safety issue at the moment. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, if people do have tips or advice, I would love to hear them, genuinely. And I will keep people updated with how it does go in the future, with potential further reintroductions, or if I do have to go through with the neutering route, and see how that goes. But yes, hopefully there will be positive updates in the future, and there will be more positive videos in the future to come, obviously, as well. I'll still be doing the shorts. I tend to lean towards those more so than these sort of videos, because I don't particularly like talking on camera. I prefer to just let the rats do the content, and I just film it and enjoy playing with them. But I do think it's also important, like I said, to show that there are difficulties with any pet, no matter how big or small. You're going to have troubles along the way. But yes, I think that is it for now. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will be back in the future with more videos. Goodbye for now.